Some people say to me, gee, Lester, I read your book. It was so good, I started reading, I read it right through from beginning to the end in one sitting. Which to me means they got nothing out of it. The best way to read the book is to take one sentence that strikes your fancy, go through them, you hit one, and stay with it. That night, that day, that week, that month, until that knowledge becomes your knowledge. And you say, oh, now I see. Then you're ready for another sentence. You read along, something strikes your fancy, and you stick with it. Because any one of hundreds of statements there can give full realization. It's the same thing being said in many different ways. All paths just play around with the subject until we ask that question, who am I? Until that time, we're just being played with, sort of pampered on the path. Because the end is discovering who you are. It's the final question that everyone poses to himself, well, who am I? And wow, I am that I am is the answer. When that comes, well, it isn't necessarily the final state. You will see all the way on who you are and not be able to maintain it. What happens is that being the infinite self, we can get a glimpse of the infinity, hold it for a while, and then suddenly we feel as though we've lost it. The reason for that is that the mind has not been annihilated. The subconscious thoughts of limitation are submerged at the moment. You go completely into the self and you let go of the mind temporarily. You haven't eliminated the mind, but you just momentarily let go of it. So there you are, totally the infinite self. However, the mind that has been submerged re-emerges, and then the ego takes over, and you just can't understand what happened to you, what hit you, what brought you back into this heaviness of the world again. So what is required is that we re-establish that state of the self again and again until it becomes permanent. Each time we do it, we scorch more of the mind until finally we have scorched the entire mind. Then we're permanently established in the self. Then you sit back and the mind is out there and the body's out there, and you are not the mind, you are not the body. And as long as you know you're not the mind and the body, both of them can go on to their heart's content, is the way you feel. You give up limitation, you give up misery, yeah. But you never give up anything worthwhile. And you never give up anything good. You give up only bad and take on more and more good.